The Von Erich family, one of the most famous families in professional wrestling history, is plagued with horrible tragedy after horrible tragedy. In the late 80s and early 90s, I was all in on professional wrestling. I watched every Saturday morning, went to a couple of live WWF events, had all the action figures and video games, and I even watched all of the movies that professional wrestlers were in, like The Princess Bride, No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, and Predator. Yet somehow I have completely forgotten about the Von Erich family. I assume that I saw some of their matches, but maybe because they didn't wear cool costumes or have cool names like the Ultimate Warrior or Rowdy Roddy Piper, those memories have just been lost. Even though I no longer watch professional wrestling, I absolutely love watching movies and documentaries about the sport and its personalities because they are all just so good. The Iron Claw is a movie that features a lot of wrestling, and I didn't personally care for the way that the wrestling matches were filmed. The camera was just a bit too up close to the action for my liking. Even though it is a movie about wrestling, it is also a movie about family. In fact, it's more a movie about family than it is about wrestling, so you don't need to be a wrestling fan to enjoy The Iron Claw. Now, I had a vague memory of the supposed Von Erich curse, but I didn't know it was nearly as tragic as this movie showed. And much like the Kennedy curse, the Von Erich family just seemed to be surrounded by tragic deaths and freak accidents. Now, of course, after the movie ended, I had to read about it online, and I was shocked to find out that there weren't 5 Von Erich brothers like were mentioned in the movie. There were 6 brothers, and that 6th brother had a tragedy happen to him as well. And not only that, but the tragedy even jumped to the next generation of Von Erichs who were not depicted in the movie. The movie itself is very well made, and as much as I never expected to say this, I can't deny it any longer. Zac Efron is an incredible actor, and it's hard to take your eyes off of him while he's on screen. Now, in The Iron Claw, this is because of his massive body transformation, his bad haircut, and his magnetic yet subdued and depressed personality. The other brothers and their father are all great as well. Now, I've watched every episode of The Bear, and I was very shocked to see how jacked Jeremy Allen White was. I don't think there's a huge overarching message that we're supposed to get out of watching The Iron Claw. It's just a biopic about a famous family that most people don't know about that has been plagued with a whole bunch of tragedies. The story drives the movie, as I didn't find the direction to stand out in any way. Many scenes felt cut short and the flow wasn't perfect, but it didn't really take me out of the story. Many scenes are very tense and you're just waiting for that next bad thing to happen. The entire family is well developed and they're all very likable. I was a little disappointed at the end because, you know, it's a biopic. They always do the "where are they now" at the end of the movie. I wanted much more detail than we were given. I did, however, laugh at the current family photo of the Von Erich clan. One of the dads had thrown one of the young kids up in the air an absurd height. The Iron Claw is a great movie about family, tragedy, and wrestling. I don't think it's quite as good as Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler, but it's still worth watching. You don't have to be a fan of wrestling to enjoy it. It's just a sad and tragic story. But as sad and tragic as it wasn't one of those movies that when it ended I felt like I needed to take a shower. Dancing at a wedding, group hugs, hanging with your brothers, Zac Efron with ridiculous muscles and a bad haircut, pumping iron, drop kicks.